I really feel like this game is criminally slept on. Coming out in 2010, the port of Street Fighter 4 that exists for the Nintendo 3DS often gets overshadowed by the ports of Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Street Fighter Cross Tekken that exist on the PlayStation Vita. And I'm not even disputing that those two aren't some of the greatest fighting games ever to be ported to a handheld console. But I will say that Super Street Fighter 4 for the 3DS stands on its own two legs and is right up there with those two. You know, fun fact, Street Fighter 4 is the game that sucked me back into gaming. Prior to Street Fighter 4 coming out, I had taken a long hiatus from console gaming to focus on school. I kept telling myself I'd get one of the next gen consoles eventually, but I just kept kicking the can down the road. Street Fighter 4 came out and I just had to get a PS3 or an Xbox 360. I opted to go with the 360 because this was when the Red Ring of Death was starting to show itself, so getting a used one was much cheaper than getting a used PS3. I got Street Fighter 4 and put well over 100 hours into that game. I was hooked. So seeing that a handheld version was coming out for the 3DS, naturally it was on my radar. Visually, the game looks fantastic. The character models and animations are crisp and smooth, despite obviously being scaled down to operate on the 3DS's hardware. The game manages to have all 35 characters and their complete movesets. It would have been really nice to see an exclusive character or two for the 3DS, but nonetheless, it's still really impressive that they managed to get all 35 on here. Gameplay-wise, it retains all of the core mechanics from its console counterparts. You will notice that some of the levels that have background animations going on, they were clearly taken out in favor of some still images. This really helps to maintain the fast pace and fluid gameplay of Street Fighter 4. To help with the execution of specific moves, 4 areas of the touchscreen were given these shortcuts. This really helps with pulling off special moves. It feels a bit awkward initially, but after a brief learning curve, you'll be pulling off ultras like nothing. The game includes a variety of different modes, from arcade to versus and even online multiplayer, which works surprisingly well on a handheld console. There's even this new 3D versus mode that offers this dynamic camera angle that's almost like an over-the-shoulder view. It's a fun little addition, but a tad bit gimmicky and obviously put in there to flex the 3DS's 3D capabilities. Street Fighter 4 3D Edition managed to bring the full console Street Fighter 4 experience to the Nintendo 3DS, and impressively showcased how a complex technical fighting game can work on a handheld game console, especially one that was largely considered to be underpowered like the 3DS. Capcom truly did an outstanding job with this port, and it definitely deserves a lot more recognition than it gets these days. Now, while it lacks some of the overall fine-tuning that you'll find on the console versions of this game, Capcom managed to deliver a robust arcade quality experience on the 3DS. They deserve a ton of credit for that. Now, while it's certainly not a groundbreaking, revolutionary version of the game, it's still an impressive technical feat, especially on the 3DS platform, and in my opinion is an absolute must-own for the handheld. We were really spoiled during this era with all of the great fighting games that came out for the PlayStation Vita, and you had Street Fighter 4, Smash Brothers, and Tekken on the 3DS. It was just a really good time to be a fight game fan. So Street Fighter 4 for the 3DS. Do any of you guys own this game? Did you guys think it was a good port? Are you guys not a fan? I'd love to know. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed. Until next time, this is Ness, signing out.